Miami International Airport, September 1976. Customs line. You're watching a woman in her 40s, American, tanned, smiling, rolling a suitcase behind her. She just returned from Colombia. Best vacation of her life. Inside her suitcase, 5 kilograms of pure cocaine. Street value, $300,000. She has no idea. 1 week ago, she met a man at an airport bar. Handsome, charming, foreign accent. He invited her to Colombia.
I'll show you the real country.
She went, fell in love, romantic dinners, dancing. He made her feel wanted again. On her last day, he asked a favor.
My cousin needs Colombian coffee. Could you take it to Miami?
She said yes. Of course. Anything for him. Now she's in the customs line, 3 people away from the officer. Her heart beats faster, not from fear, from excitement. She's thinking about next month, when he'll visit her in America. 2 people ahead. The officer is checking bags today, opening them, looking inside carefully. 1 person ahead. She's not nervous, it's just coffee. He showed her, vacuum-sealed bags.
Premium coffee, my family's pride.
The officer waves her forward.
Bag on the table, please.
She places the suitcase down, smiling.
Where are you coming from?
Colombia, beautiful country.
What's in the bag?
Clothes and coffee. Colombian coffee. Gift for a friend.
The officer's hand reaches for the zipper, his fingers on the metal, starting to pull. Then another officer calls from across the room.
Need you here. Priority check.
Her officer looks up, frustrated, looks at her. Middle-aged American woman, relaxed, smiling, low risk.
Anything to declare?
No, just the coffee.
He waves her through without opening it.
Welcome home.
She walks past, suitcase rolling behind her. She made it. She just smuggled $300,000 worth of cocaine into the United States without knowing it. The man who seduced her, Carlos Lehder, did this to over 200 women. Airport bars, lonely travelers, same charm, same lie, same result. Some women got caught at customs. They're sitting in federal prison right now, still thinking he loved them, still believing it was real. Carlos never contacted any of them again. This operation earned him his first $1 million in 18 months, $1 million, cash. 6 years earlier, Carlos Lehder was washing dishes in Queens, New York. Broke. Nobody. Immigrant with nothing. How does a dishwasher become a millionaire drug lord in 6 years? The answer lies in a prison cell. 1974, Connecticut, with an American surfer who had a crazy idea, an idea that would change the drug trade forever. Danbury Federal Correctional Institution, Connecticut, January 1974. Carlos Lehder walks into his prison cell, age 24. Caught with 200 pounds of marijuana. Stupid traffic stop, 4-year sentence. His cellmate is already there. Skinny American, long hair, surfing magazine in his hands. George Jung, California surfer. Arrested for the same crime, moving marijuana. They become friends quickly. Both young, both ambitious. Both seeing prison as a temporary setback, not the ending. George has a skill Carlos needs. He knows how to fly drugs across borders. Small planes, low altitude, under the radar, Mexico to California, desert airstrips, quick money. But George has a problem. Mexicans are unreliable. They steal product. They talk to police. They're sloppy. Carlos has what George needs: family connections in Colombia, his mother's side, access to suppliers. One night, Carlos asks a question that changes everything.
You ever move cocaine?
George hasn't. Only marijuana. Small margins, decent money, but nothing special. Carlos explains the math that will build an empire. Marijuana. Buy for $500 per kilo. Sell for $1,000. Profit, $500. Cocaine. Buy for $5,000 per kilo. Sell for $65,000. Profit, $60,000. Same plane, same risk, same fuel, same pilot. 100 times more money. George sees it immediately. The opportunity, the future. But there's a problem, a big problem. Colombia is too far from Florida. Small planes can't make the distance in one flight. They need to refuel somewhere. Somewhere between Colombia and the United States. Somewhere they control. Carlos says it first.
We need an island.
For 18 months they plan. Prison becomes their business school. Maps spread across the cell floor during recreation time, calculating distances, fuel ranges, flight paths, Colombia to the Bahamas. Possible. The Bahamas to Florida. Easy. Which islands are inhabited? Which governments are corruptible? Which have airstrips? Which can be bought? They study everything. Plane capacities, cocaine pricing, distribution networks in America, profit margins, risk management. George asks the obvious question.
How do we pay for this? Planes, construction, bribes, guards? We need at least $1 million.
Carlos doesn't hesitate.
I'll handle it.
How?
Don't worry about how. I'll find it.
December 1975. Both men released the same week. Prison parking lot. Final handshake.
See you in paradise,
George says, smiling, believing they're building this together. Carlos nods, already planning differently. They walk to different cars. The plan was simple. Earn the money. Buy the island. Start the business. Become partners. George believes this. Equal partnership. Brothers. Building an empire together. Carlos doesn't. He already learned everything he needed from George. Flight routes, pilot contacts, smuggling methods. All the information extracted. Now George is no longer necessary. But Carlos needs money first. Serious money. Fast. How does an ex-convict with nothing earn enough to buy a Caribbean island? The answer is sitting in an airport bar right now, drinking wine, alone. She has no idea what's about to happen. Miami, Florida, January 1976. Carlos Lehder needs $1 million. He has a plan, a dark plan, but an efficient one. He starts frequenting bars near Miami International Airport. Not downtown bars, not beach bars, airport bars, where tourists finish vacations before flying home. He's looking for specific targets: American women, traveling alone, age 40 to 50, wedding ring but no husband, expensive luggage but lonely eyes, the kind of woman who extended her vacation by herself, the kind who sits at airport bars drinking wine, postponing the flight home. Carlos is handsome, speaks 3 languages fluently, has dangerous charisma, knows exactly what lonely people need: attention. The approach is always the same. He sits near the target, not too close, 1 seat away, orders a drink, waits. Eventually, she notices him. They always do. He's the only person in the bar who looks interesting, who doesn't look American, who has that accent. He waits for eye contact, then smiles. Small smile, not aggressive, just friendly.
Excuse me, is this seat taken?
She says no. He moves closer.
Flying out today?
She nods.
Back to reality.
Vacation?
Yes, Miami Beach. Tried to relax. Didn't really work.
Miami Beach is for tourists, not for relaxing. You should have gone to Colombia.
Colombia?
She's interested now.
Most beautiful country in South America. Real beaches, real mountains, real culture, not plastic like here.
I've never been.
You should go. I'm from there originally. I could show you the real Colombia, not the tourist version.
They talk for 1 hour. He listens, really listens, asks questions about her life, her work, her interests, makes her feel seen. By the end, he has her phone number.
I'm flying back to Bogota next week. If you want to extend your vacation, real vacation this time, let me know.
She thinks about it for 3 days, her empty house, her quiet life, her loneliness. Then calls him.
I'd love to come.
In Colombia, Carlos transforms. He's not a drug dealer. He's a prince. He takes her to nice hotels, not too expensive, not suspicious, but beautiful. Restaurants where locals eat, dancing at salsa clubs, day trips to mountains and beaches. She falls in love, not with Colombia, with him, with the attention, with feeling wanted. He's done this before. He knows the timing. 1 week, not longer. Long enough to create connection, not long enough to see cracks. On the last day, over breakfast, he asks the favor. Small favor. Apologetic tone.
My cousin in Miami asked me to send him coffee, Colombian coffee. I bought too much, can't fit in my luggage. Would you mind taking 1 bag? I'll text you his address, just drop it off.
She says yes, immediately. Of course, anything for him. At the airport, he gives her the suitcase.
Just coffee, customs won't care, it's legal.
He kisses her goodbye.
I'll call you when you land, we'll plan my visit to America.
She boards, smiling, planning their future. He walks away, already forgetting her name. The suitcase contains 5 kilograms of cocaine, vacuum sealed, professional packaging, hidden in coffee bags. If customs opens it, they'll find it. But they rarely open bags from middle-aged American women returning from vacation. Success rate, 98%. Carlos runs this operation 3 to 4 times per month. Different airports, different women, different timing. Always the same approach, always the same result. Cost per trip, $2,000 in flights, hotels, dinners. Profit per trip, $300,000 in cocaine delivered. By September 1976, Carlos has his first million, but he doesn't stop. The operation continues. Airport bars, lonely women, cocaine deliveries. By 1978, he has over $4 million, enough to buy everything he needs. Plus connections in Medellín with suppliers who can provide unlimited product. Plus connections in Miami with distributors who can move whatever he delivers. Ready for the next phase, the island. But here's the problem. Even with $1 million, you can't just walk into a store and buy a Caribbean island. Islands have owners, governments, laws, people living on them. So how does a 26-year-old ex-convict with a duffel bag full of drug money buy a piece of paradise in the Bahamas? Norman's Cay, Bahamas, May 1978. Norman's Cay is a small island in the Exuma chain, 3 miles long, a quarter mile wide. Population, about 50 American retirees. They came here for the fishing and the silence, for paradise. Now Carlos Lehder will use it to flood America with cocaine. He establishes a Bahamian company called International Dutch Resources. Through a Nassau trust company, he starts buying property. First, the Beckwith House on the northeastern tip. $190,000 cash. No mortgage, no questions. Then, 165 acres on the western and eastern tips. $875,000 cash. Then, the hotel, the marina, the yacht club. Total investment, $4.5 million. All cash. The original residents notice changes. Construction crews arriving at night, the runway being extended, strange men with weapons, boats filled with equipment at odd hours. When they ask questions, Carlos is charming.
We're building a resort. More tourists. Good for everyone. Good for the island.
When they ask too many questions, Carlos stops being charming. One resident refuses to sell his house. He owns beachfront property, prime location. Carlos offers twice the value. He refuses. The resident goes fishing one morning, returns that afternoon. His house is crushed. His 40-foot yacht has been lifted from the water with a heavy crane and dropped directly onto his roof. The resident sells the next day, leaves immediately. By early 1979, the transformation is complete. Runway extended to 3,300 feet. Radar installations. Armed guards in combat fatigues. Doberman attack dogs. Patrol boats with machine guns. Colombian flag flying. The operation runs like a factory. Planes from Colombia arrive nightly. 300 kilograms per flight. Carlos takes 1 kilo of every 4. His cut. That's 75 kilos daily. $4 million per day. The Bank of Nova Scotia creates a special counting fee just for his accounts. That's how much cash he's moving. The island becomes paradise for his workers. Swimming pools, parties, unlimited cocaine, women from Medellín, everything they want. But accepting these gifts traps them. They can never leave, never testify. Bound by pleasure and crime. VIP guests visit regularly. Jorge Ochoa, Pablo Escobar, Robert Vesco. Carlos Lehder, the dishwasher, the prisoner, is now a king. His own island. His own rules, his own country. A prison dream made real, making millions daily. Everything running perfectly. Everything seems perfect. Until one day in March 1979 changes everything. Someone from Carlos's past arrives. Someone he hoped would never find this place. Someone who thought they were partners. And Carlos's empire is about to crack. Norman's Cay, March 1979. George Jung arrives at the island he helped plan. The island from their prison conversations, maps on the cell floor, calculations on paper. Will change the drug trade forever. What George sees is not what they designed. Carlos has changed. The cocaine has made him paranoid. The power has made him cruel. The operation has grown beyond anything George imagined. Armed guards everywhere. Combat fatigues. Che Guevara posters. Colombian flags. This isn't a smuggling operation. This is a military compound, a separate nation. Carlos barely acknowledges George. Treats him like a visitor. Not like a partner. Not like the man who taught him about planes in prison. George realizes the truth. Carlos doesn't need him anymore. The American pilots Carlos hired are cheaper, more disposable. George's connections have already been extracted. His value is gone. Their partnership was a prison friendship, and prison friendships don't survive billions of dollars. Carlos tells him one morning,
You're not welcome here anymore.
No explanation, no buyout, no gratitude.
We built this together.
You gave me an idea in prison. I built this. There's a difference.
We shook hands. We promised.
I don't care. Leave today.
George leaves, takes a plane back to Florida, broke, bitter, betrayed. He'll eventually build his own operation, get caught, go back to prison, testify against Carlos years later, die in 2021, still angry about the island that should have been half his. But for Carlos, the George problem is solved. One less person to share with, one less liability. The operation continues, the money flows, the island thrives. Then the government starts watching. September 4th, 1979, Operation Raccoon. Ed Ward, one of Carlos's American pilots, spots 3 Bahamas Defense Force boats heading toward Norman's Cay from Nassau. 90 police officers. Ward radios Carlos.
They're coming. Big raid.
Carlos seems calm, almost amused, because he already knows. A Bahamian official warned him the day before, gave him time to move everything. When the police arrive, they find 33 people on the island. They arrest everyone, except Carlos and his German bodyguard, Manfred. They're not there. The police search for evidence, find nothing. The cocaine is gone, the weapons are hidden. The documents are destroyed. Everyone is released on $2,000 bail. Within 48 hours, Carlos pays $250,000 to a government official. Everyone is back on Norman's Cay. Business as usual. A DEA official later testifies,
Carlos Lehder didn't just own Norman's Cay. He owned the whole damned country.
December 1979. The Bahamian government officially orders Carlos to leave. He ignores the order. The government does nothing. But pressure is building. American pressure. Vice President George H.W. Bush calls Prime Minister Lyndon Pindling. They meet. Bush presents CIA surveillance data, flight logs, photographs of Pindling socializing with Carlos on Norman's Cay.
Your tiny island resembles O'Hare Airport.
Bush is not asking, he's telling. Fix this, or face consequences. Meanwhile, NBC journalist Brian Ross is investigating, interviewing former residents, collecting documents, building a case. Carlos knows the heat is coming, but he's too rich to care, too powerful to worry, too arrogant to run. He believes he's untouchable. He believes he owns enough officials, pays enough bribes, has enough guns. He's wrong. September 1983, NBC News airs a documentary, The Bahamas, A Nation for Sale. Journalist Brian Ross exposes everything. Carlos Lehder, Norman's Cay, government bribes, all of it, names, photos, bank records. Congressional hearings begin, international pressure, DEA investigations. Within days, the Bahamian government freezes Carlos's accounts, seizes his properties, everything. The man worth $2.5 billion suddenly can't access his money, can't bribe officials, can't defend his operation. Norman's Cay is finished. Carlos flees to Colombia. He tries to rebuild, starts new operations, but he makes a fatal mistake. April 1984. The Colombian government turns against traffickers. Extradition to America becomes real. Carlos becomes a fugitive, hides in the jungle, gets sick, nearly dies. Pablo Escobar saves him, brings him back to Medellín. But Carlos is now a problem. Too visible, too loud, too dangerous, making the entire Medellín cartel a target. Escobar makes a decision. February 4th, 1987. Colombian special forces surround Carlos's ranch. 200 soldiers, helicopters, armored vehicles. An anonymous tip gave them everything. Exact location, guard count, property layout. The tip came for inside the Medellín cartel. Escobar sold him out. Carlos is captured in bed, weak, sick, can't even fight. The island king, the man who built an empire, captured without dignity. 48 hours later, he's on a plane to the United States. First major Colombian trafficker extradited to America. Sentence: life plus 135 years. From dishwasher to island king to federal prisoner. Built an empire on betrayal, destroyed by betrayal. In the drug trade, everyone is disposable, even kings.